Hello Wolfpack, got Bitcoin on a shorter term time frame right here. Bitcoin analysis, we're looking into the daily, the weekly, and the hourly. And what we can see on the hourly chart is a symmetrical triangle formation that's been forming for about 2 weeks here on Bitcoin. Now, this symmetrical triangle formation's been interesting, right? What we actually saw yesterday during my live stream was I predicted we're going to swing down to the bottom. We did that. We actually saw some sort of formation here, bullish bat formation. We swung back up to the upside very, very quickly, a little bit unexpectedly, but that's because the stock market was recovering and the DXY was bouncing from resistance. Or rejecting from resistance. So it made sense in hindsight. But right now we're actually seeing an inability to break above this symmetrical triangle formation, and for that reason I think we're going to swing back down to the downside to around 37.5k or 37k, and from that point we can make a decision, either break down and go to around 35k or break up and go to around 40k. Now it is worth noting that whatever happens in this scenario, I'll still be bearish. I'm not bullish in the market again until around 48k, as previously explained many times now. 48k is very much the sorry, my eyes are a bit weird today. 48k is very much the critical resistance zone we need to be breaking in order to be bullish in the market again, and until we break that spot, we're not going to be bullish at all. That's because bull market support band, Gaussian channel, and various other things, Ichimoku Cloud 50 and 200, they're all above 48k right now, trending downwards. So if we get above 48k, by the time we get there, we will have flipped everything and we'll be clear to go upwards. Now, until that point, I'm not sure. Now, right now, we're in a symmetrical triangle formation, as I said, at the bottom of a massive correction. And so it could be expected that we break upwards here on Bitcoin. In order for us to even make any actual progress on a macro scale, we need to be breaking about 45k to form a higher high. Okay, and we can see 45k, namely 45.5k, has acted as support on multiple occasions, and so it will be acting as tough resistance here when we get above it, especially considering by the time we get there, this uptrending red line will be acting as resistance as well. And so as of right now on Bitcoin, it looks as though even if we break to the upside, we'll get rejected eventually. But, you know, an upside break could be considered here on Bitcoin. But, you know, as of right now, as I've said, you know, we just don't look really good. I mean, volume is stacking up a little bit as we come up to test the top of the symmetrical triangle, so that's a little bit bullish. But as I've said, I don't really care what happens in the short term. What I can see right now is that even if we go to 40k, we'll still be in line with this channel formation, right? The top of this channel is at 40k. If we test 40k, reject off that, we're still in the channel, still in a downwards trend. And so we can very well break out of this symmetrical triangle formation to 40k, 40.5k even, and still be bearish, even on a short-term scale, right? Not let alone the long-term scale. The long-term scale is incredibly bearish, and so I think that we'll just continue downwards eventually, regardless of what happens in this break. Now, what we can see on the DXY, and this is the reason why Bitcoin's bouncing a little bit here, is we've come up on the DXY and we've rejected from resistance. Now, the DXY is basically a chart that measures the strength of the US dollar against other global currencies. And when the DXY trends upwards, you usually see Bitcoin going downwards. When it trends downwards, you usually see Bitcoin going upwards. This matches up perfect on multiple occasions, including here in May, right? You'll notice that in May, that's when the market flipped bearish and we had the massive May to July correction. The DXY started heading upwards and we haven't seen strength since then, really. I mean, we saw a big double top formation to 69k, but it wasn't really any strength. So looking at that, you know, what we can see right now is we've come up on resistance, and the reason why Bitcoin's bouncing recently is because we're in resistance on the DXY, and so that means that there's a high chance we'll reject downwards. And as explained previously, if we reject downwards on the DXY, it means Bitcoin goes up. So breaking above this resistance on the DXY would cause Bitcoin to enter even further into a bear market, and that's, if we want to see the bullish case, that's not what we want to see. We want to see a clear rejection here, but ultimately it looks like a cut formation. It looks like we might just break to the upside eventually, and that's another reason why Bitcoin is bearish on a longer term scale. Now, the Bitcoin dominance chart is another reason, again, why Bitcoin is bearish on a longer term scale, because we've broken a resistance line here, this white resistance line, and we've head up from support after a triple bottom, and that means we're probably going to be swinging back up and testing this red box at the very minimum. And that's going to be at around 49%. That's about 7% away. And so usually when Bitcoin dominance trends up, it means altcoins die. And when altcoins die, it usually means you're in a bear market, right? Because altcoins perform very well in a bull market when there's the hype. In a bear market, they don't perform very well. So ultimately, to kind of just sum up the analysis today, it's a bit of a brief one. Still kind of on track, even if we break upwards to 40k, 40.5k, you know, we're still in this downwards channel. If we break above, say, 41k, that's when we can start considering a retest of 48k or 45.5k, and that's an actual dead cat bounce. But until that point, we're still just trending downwards quite clearly. We haven't broken the channel yet, and there's nothing really too important to update here on Bitcoin. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one.